In today's hyper-connected world, where digital footprints trail behind us like shadows, our private lives are more exposed than ever. Every status update, every shared photo, every geotagged location contributes to a vast online mosaic of our daily existence. Sharing photos and locations online is second nature, a reflex almost, as we document our experiences for friends, family, and followers. We broadcast our whereabouts with a tap, inviting the world to peek into our lives. But this constant connectivity comes with a growing desire for privacy, a yearning to create boundaries in a world that feels increasingly boundaryless. The more we share, the more we crave control over what remains unseen. Especially when it comes to our homes. Our homes are our sanctuaries, the physical embodiment of our private lives. They are the backdrop to our most intimate moments, the place where we let our guard down and truly be ourselves. The idea that anyone, anywhere, can see a detailed image of your front door online is unsettling. It feels like a violation, a breach of the invisible wall that separates our private world from the public gaze. That's why many people use Google Maps blurring tool, a simple feature that allows you to obscure your home from street view. It's a digital act of self-defense, hoping to reclaim a sense of control over your personal space in the digital realm. It's a way to push back against the feeling of constant surveillance. For some, it's about principle, a statement that they value their privacy and are willing to take steps to protect it. It's about asserting their right to control their own image and the image of their property. For others, public figures who are already subject to intense scrutiny, activists, or those in sensitive jobs, it's about safety. The blurring tool offers a small layer of protection against potential threats. Blurring is seen as a digital version of drawing the blinds, a symbolic gesture of retreat from the ever-watchful eyes of the internet. A way to say, this is private, keep out. It's a digital no trespassing sign, a clear message that this space is not for public consumption. The hope is that by removing your home from public view, by making it just a little bit harder to find and identify, you reduce the risk of unwanted attention or harm. It's about minimizing your digital footprint and making yourself a less appealing target. In a world where so much is visible, where surveillance cameras are ubiquitous and data breaches are commonplace, the appeal of a simple privacy measure is strong. It's a small act of rebellion against the feeling of being constantly watched. But does blurring your house really make you safer? Does it offer tangible protection against real-world threats? Or does it just make you feel safer? Is it a genuine security measure or simply a placebo effect, a way to soothe our anxieties in an age of digital vulnerability? Let's dig into the real impact of hiding your home online and explore the complex relationship between digital privacy and real-world security. The main argument for blurring your house is rooted in security through obscurity. The logic: if criminals can't see your home online, they can't target it. People imagine burglars using Google Street View to pick easy targets, looking for signs of wealth or weak security. Blurring your house, in theory, removes it from their list. It's a digital version of hiding valuables out of sight. Early on, even some security experts supported this idea, seeing it as a proactive move. News stories and forums spread the tip as a clever hack for homeowners. The thinking was simple. Less information online means less risk. But as we'll see, this approach may not work as intended. Is hiding your house online really making you safer or just making you feel invisible? Recently, security experts have flipped the script on blurring your house. Instead of making you safer, it might actually make you a bigger target. Why? Because a blurred house stands out. To a criminal, it signals you have something to hide, maybe something valuable. The blur breaks the pattern of normalcy, drawing attention instead of deflecting it. It can even suggest you're wealthy or security conscious, making your home more intriguing. Experts now say blending in is safer than standing out. Trying to hide your home online could unintentionally highlight it for the wrong people. Sometimes the best security is just looking ordinary. This is the Streisand Effect. It's a phenomenon that illustrates a fundamental truth about information and attention in the digital age. It's a concept named after an incident involving a certain celebrity and her efforts to control the dissemination of information about her private property. It's when trying to hide something, to suppress information or images, only makes it more noticeable, more sought after, and ultimately more widely distributed than it ever would have been otherwise. The very act of concealment amplifies the signal. Barbra Streisand's attempt to suppress a photo of her home, a seemingly innocuous aerial shot, inadvertently made it famous. The legal battle she waged to remove the image from a public database only served to draw massive attention to it. The same principle can happen with something as simple as a blurred house on a map. What might seem like a reasonable measure to protect privacy can, ironically, have the opposite effect. On a street of visible homes where every other property is clearly displayed, a pattern of uniformity exists. There's a sense of openness and transparency, but a single blurred property becomes an instant curiosity, a puzzle to be solved. It disrupts the visual flow and begs the question, what's being hidden? The act of hiding draws attention, it piques interest and fuels speculation. People are naturally drawn to the unusual, the unexplained, and the things that are deliberately concealed. And that attention comes not just from casual browsers, those idly surfing the internet and exploring different neighborhoods, but also from those looking for something valuable, those with more malicious intent, individuals who might be casing a neighborhood for potential targets. For criminals, a blurred house subtly whispers, "There's something special here, something worth concealing, something worth investigating." It becomes a beacon, unintentionally highlighting the property. Security experts now warn that blurring can backfire, that the perceived benefit of privacy might be outweighed by the increased risk of unwanted attention. In effect, you're making your home a point of interest, a landmark on the digital landscape, drawing eyes to your property that might otherwise have passed it by unnoticed. Unless you're facing a real specific threat, a known danger that necessitates taking extra precautions. Blurring your house in most ordinary circumstances may inadvertently increase your risk, making you a more attractive target than you would have been otherwise. The intention behind blurring is, of course, privacy, a desire to protect your personal space and keep your home out of the public eye. But the result is often the opposite of what was intended. The attempt to disappear only makes you stand out. The blur, instead of providing anonymity, becomes a digital spotlight, highlighting your property and drawing attention to it. For most people, blending in with the surroundings is safer and more effective than standing out as different or unusual. The Streisand Effect serves as a powerful reminder of the complexities of privacy in the digital age. It demonstrates that sometimes hiding invites more attention than it prevents, that the very act of concealment can be self-defeating. So, think twice before making your home the exception on the block. Consider whether the perceived benefits of blurring outweigh the potential risks of attracting unwanted attention. In wealthy neighborhoods, blurred houses are common, but that's not always a good thing. Security experts say blurring in these areas acts as a beacon signaling high value. To a burglar, a blurred mansion doesn't fade into the background, it stands out as a potential jackpot. The message, "I have more to protect than my neighbors." Ironically, trying to be discreet can make your home the most conspicuous on the block. Experts now advise, unless you have a specific threat, don't blur your home. Focus on real security alarms, cameras, reinforced doors, not digital camouflage. A house that looks normal online but is secure in reality is far safer. Don't let a blur become a target. Police and criminologists agree. Most burglaries are crimes of opportunity, not the result of online research. The typical burglar isn't a digital mastermind. They're looking for easy, visible targets. Open windows, piled up mail, poor lighting. These are the real cues thieves look for. A barking dog or a visible camera is a bigger deterrent than a blurred image online. Law enforcement says, focus on physical security, not digital tricks. Blurring your house rarely deters the average burglar. Instead, invest in locks, lights, and good habits. Real-world measures work. Digital blurring is mostly a placebo. Protect your home where it matters most in the real world. Even if blurring your house online worked, it's easy to bypass. Your home still exists in the real world. Anyone can drive by and see it. The blur only hides your house on one website. It doesn't erase it from reality. Other platforms, real estate sites, and public records often show your home clearly. A determined person can find images from multiple sources. Blurring is like locking one door while leaving the windows open. True security comes from real-world defenses, not digital illusions. A pixelated image won't stop a break-in. Focus on what actually keeps you safe, physical barriers, and smart habits. Digital blurring is no substitute for real security. Blurring your house on Google Maps is permanent. There's no easy way to undo it. This can hurt you later, especially if you want to sell your home. Buyers often check Street View. A blurred house can raise suspicion or turn them away. The tool isn't perfect either. Sometimes it misses angles or blurs the wrong property. Mistakes are hard to fix and the process is far from foolproof. You might end up with a patchy blur or even affect your neighbor's listing. The decision is irreversible, so think carefully before you act. Security experts warn only use this tool if you have a real, specific need. For most, the risks and downsides outweigh the benefits. Don't let a permanent blur become a permanent problem. If, after considering all the potential drawbacks, you still feel that blurring your home on Google Maps is the right choice for you, then the process itself is relatively simple. It's designed to be accessible, but remember, proceed with caution. This isn't a decision to be taken lightly. The first step is to go to Google Maps, but make sure you're doing this on a desktop computer. The blurring request feature isn't readily available on the mobile app. Using a desktop ensures you have full access to all the necessary tools and options. Once you're on the Google Maps website, enter your full and accurate address into the search bar. Double-check that you've spelled everything correctly to avoid any confusion or delays in locating your property. After locating your address, use Street View to find your house. Navigate around until you have a clear and recognizable view of the property you wish to blur. This step is crucial for ensuring the blurring is applied to the correct location. Once you have the correct view, look for the option to report a problem. It's usually located in the lower right-hand corner of the Street View window. Click on it to initiate the blurring request process. A new window will pop up, allowing you to adjust the blur box. Carefully position and resize the box to precisely cover the area you want to be blurred. Make sure you're only blurring what's necessary, as the blur is permanent. In the reporting form, select My Home as the reason for the request. This helps Google prioritize and process your request appropriately. Then, carefully review all the information you've provided and submit your request. It's vital to remember that this action is permanent. Once the blurring is applied, it cannot be undone. There's no going back to the original unblurred image. This is a one-way street. Consider this decision carefully before proceeding, as there's no easy way to reverse the blurring once it's been implemented. After submitting your request, keep in mind that Google may take several days or even weeks to process it. The processing time can vary depending on the volume of requests they're currently handling. Also, be aware that mistakes can happen, and they can't be easily fixed. If you accidentally blur the wrong area, correcting it can be a lengthy and complicated process. Given these potential drawbacks, most security professionals now advise against blurring your home on Google Maps, especially for the average homeowner. The perceived benefits often don't outweigh the risks. For the average homeowner, blurring your house offers very little in terms of actual security and can potentially create more problems than it solves. In reality, it rarely deters real-world criminals. Experienced burglars aren't relying on Google Maps to choose their targets. They're looking for other, more obvious signs of vulnerability. Ironically, blurring your home can actually make your home a target online. It can draw unwanted attention and signal that you might have something to hide, making you a more appealing target for online scams or even physical threats. Instead of relying on digital blurring, invest in proven physical security measures. Install security cameras, reinforce your doors and windows, and consider a monitored alarm system. Ultimately, it's often best to let your home blend in with the rest of the neighborhood. Avoid making it stand out in any way, either online or in the real world. An ordinary-looking house is often the safest because it doesn't attract unnecessary attention from potential criminals. In the digital age, sometimes the best defense is simply not standing out. Maintaining a low profile can be more effective than trying to hide something. In conclusion, choose real, tangible security measures over digital illusions that may offer a false sense of protection.